What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you already know what the dealio is. Come on in the space, come on in the room, come on in the house. Welcome to the Affairs of the Heart podcast live, as it is every Thursday, and so it shall be for every Thursday moving forward. Here we are. It is myself, and so Debonair is here.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody.
Look, I got my energy. I got my energy back this week.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you are back. Sheesh. But as you know, and as every Thursday, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for the Affairs of the Heart podcast. You can also check us out at AOTHpodcast.com. We're just glad to be here. You know, we appreciate all of you guys. We really appreciate, we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. We really appreciate you sticking it out with us. And for the years that we've done this, and it doesn't even really seem like it's been that long. It's only been 1 year, but we've had 4 seasons. And we've talked about so much, whether it's on our podcast or whether it is here. And so we're glad that you guys are here. We're glad you're sticking it out.
And as we told you guys last week, Easy said Easy Done won't be here with us this week. He's on a date. So all you guys send a positive energy, send much love, and we're praying that this day goes very well. I'm excited to hear the story behind it and how it went. So,
and trust and believe, we are going to get all the tea and all the gossip on how his date went. He's going to be interviewed next week. He just doesn't know it yet. And I'm sure he's not going to watch this prior to, but we are really going to get down to the bottom of it.
Absolutely.
But we're so glad to be in the house. It is your Thursday. We've got your relationship and your sex topics from a Black gay male perspective. And we do have our infamous, I think they should be called the infamous Dear Affairs of the Heart letters at this point, because, oh, sheesh.
You know what? They get better and better every week. And I so appreciate the fact that people trust us with these things. I posted on Twitter the other day. I said, I want to have one of the best gay Black podcasts that's ever been happened. I feel like, to me, I wish I could have found something like this growing up. I didn't get a chance to learn things that I hope people get to learn while we're doing this. And while you guys are sending those Dear Affairs of the Heart podcast letters, whatever you guys want to ask us, or if you're just trying to figure out some things, please write us, because I love it. I wish I could write into a podcast when I was younger to ask questions about things I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that we take on some of the topics. We take on topics that most people won't take on. And we do that because, again, just like Aaron said, we wish we had a gay sex ed class, let alone a sex ed class period, but a gay sex ed class, or just someone to talk to us about their experience in this lifestyle in the community and etc. So that's why we do what we do.
And I'll share something with you, actually, because I do All About the Tea as well.
Shout out to All About the Tea, by the way. Hey, ladies.
Yes. Hey, teacups that are in the building. One of the girls from All About the Tea, she was like, it's so dope that you come on here because we have a after dark thing on Fridays, and I kind of give them the gay male perspective, sexually, things that I've been through, me dating women and then dating guys. And she was like, one of the girls was like, you don't understand that that's helping somebody. And I was like, I came in for fun and sex. Let's get into it. But I didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the letter that we got today, I loved it because we haven't really kind of had this type of letter. But this is kind of really what I wanted, right? And so I called her when I got the letter. I was like, you know what? You just said this to me literally last week. And someone wrote that watches from All About the Tea, a question that you were talking about to me. So everything that we're doing, it's and I want to go into a little bit about, our past podcasts and like that, because what people don't realize is this. Me and Dwayne have been through a journey, right? Because before we actually started doing YouTube or whatever, I think the first season we didn't do YouTube. No. We did the podcast, and that's what it was. once we started doing the YouTube stuff, we would do it literally like after the podcast was over. We were drinking while the podcast was going on. By the time we got to the YouTube stuff, I was old. I was done. Like it was like the alcohol had kicked in.
Lit.
I don't think Dwayne could even. I don't know how Dwayne even dealt with that because I'm like, if that was me, I'd be like, cut it. We're done. We're done. It's over. I don't want to. But it was like you laughed through all of it, and it was just so fun. I watched a lot of the older shows today, and I'm like, why did Dwayne even stay stuck to this podcast?
I think it's funny because I don't think that you knew how much because here's the thing that I've learned. Here's the thing I've learned. Aaron gets drunk. He gradually drinks. Like that's how the show started. If nobody ever knew, we would sit in, my living room, his living room. We grab a drink and we just start talking. And that's how the podcast came about. And we would base the podcast off of the conversations that we had just had. So Aaron would get really drunk because we would be talking for so long and drinking at the same time. And by the time we finished the podcast, then Aaron was like, well, we got to record clips for YouTube. So I would take my lights, the lights that I have in here. I would put my iPhone on my tripod and just hit record. And we would talk. Based upon the things we talked about in the podcast. And by the recordings of the YouTube stuff, I was like, oh God, here we go. Okay.
we would have totally different conversations from the podcast on the YouTube channel. And like it was supposed to be like a review of what happened on the podcast. Nothing long, never like that. We would get into a whole conversation. One time I called Dwayne, I was like, there's something going on my Twitter page. We need to record right now. So Dwayne was like, Aaron wants to record. We're recording, and this is what's going on. But this is the magic of YouTube and podcasting. And a lot of people have been hitting me up this week about, starting their own podcast. Matter of fact, someone hit me up. Oh, I was on this guy, he does nails. But he was hitting me up today, and I said, you know what? One thing that I do love about me and Dwayne is this. When I find out that people are doing like new podcasts, I'll bring them onto the podcast. I'm like, because we didn't get that, from any other podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that it's very, I want to be supportive of anybody who's doing podcasts, but for like gay Black podcasts, because we don't have a lot. You can only go to, there's only a few of us. And I feel like the information that everybody's going to get, our topics are probably going to all be the same, but the different perspectives are always really dope because we all don't feel the same way.
No. And we all come from so many different perspectives. Speaking of, we will have, I'm going to just go ahead and plug it now. On Thursday, the 29th, we're going to have the aunties from the Minority Report. They will be on with us. I was a guest on their show, and in return, I said, well, y'all have to come to be a heartbeat on the podcast, on our podcast. So they will be here April 23rd. If you are not following or subscribing to the Minority Report, go ahead and look them up on YouTube, the Minority, and that's TEA Report. The aunties, they're called the aunties, and they're great. They come from 3 different perspectives, and it's a lot. They're a lot of fun, and I think they're going to fit in very well with our topics for that week. So
I inboxed them, I think yesterday or the day before that, because since you were on there, I've really been like watching their podcast, and like it's so dope. Like if you guys get a chance, please check it out. Their podcast, I love it because it's so informational. The people that come on there, they give so many different perspectives of our community and how things work, and where they give some stories, and I'm like, we probably should have more guests on our show because I love the different perspectives of things that they give from their guests and their topics or whatever. Like I love the fact that like when they come on, it's like, what's your auntie name for this week? You know what I'm saying? Those things, I love that kind of stuff. So it's a really
they're good. You guys will enjoy the aunties. April 29th, that Thursday, they're coming on the Minority Report. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe their material as well. Taj says we look good today, Aaron. You look good today, friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taj. All right, you ready?
I'm really excited about today. So, guys, it's gonna be a good show.
Okay. All
really
right.
excited.
So let's get into it. Since it's gonna be a good show, you know, we always start with our relationship topics. So let's go. Question: have y'all ever fake left your house so somebody could leave? Have you ever fake left your house so somebody could leave? Listen, yes, absolutely. I'd be like, oh, I just got this phone call. I need to go. It is an emergency.
Have done this. You know, I've done this. Actually, I've done this a few times. What's the worst story you told someone why you had to leave?
So I had my best friend call me. Like I text him, like we have like a little code, and if I text him that code, then he knows to like call me and be like frantic, and we have this whole setup situation. And so I text him when I had this date. The date was going real horrible. The dude was not interesting. And we ended up back at his place. At least I thought he was horrible. He might have thought I was the world, but it just was not rocking. So I was like 911, my best friend, like, and he's like, oh my God, I just got into a bad car accident. My car's flipped over. I need you to come and get me right now. Da, da, da. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go. I am so sorry. Oh, I am so sorry. I have got to go. This is like emergency, detrimental. And that was that. I think I ghosted him after. It was terrible. I think I ghosted him after that too. Yeah. What about you?
My neighbor, I love her to death.
The neighbor you have right now?
Yes, my neighbor that I have
right now. She's hot. Like we always, every time we're over there, and she's always she's with the shit. She's always like, what y'all doing? What?
Yes. I would text her before anybody comes up to my house. I'm like, I'm having company. If I text you, you know what to do.
Not next door.
Next door, because I'm like, I would text her. I would like, it's time. She's like, I got you. She'll be out her front porch, and I'll be like, oh my God, my neighbor needs me. We gotta leave. So literally, I would walk the person outside. She'd be on the front porch. She'd be like, you ready to go? You ready to go? I'm like, I'm ready to go. And I will give them any. There's so many different types of excuses I can give, but she'd be with shit. So I'm like, I'm ready to go. Are we ready to go? Like, oh,
where y'all going?
I left something in the house. I'm like, listen, go ahead, go home. I will hit you up later. But literally, like she'd be with it. So I love her because she's right next door. Then we would sit outside and laugh all night.
That is a whole nother level of like code where she's just you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. If I were the dude, I'd be like, where y'all going? Like what? She'd
be like, I'll be like, oh, her boyfriend is doing some bullshit. We gotta go ride out, whatever. Like whatever the excuse is that day, she's with the shit. So we do that together. My neighbor, I love her to death, and she has my back.
I think that is hilarious. I think that's hilarious. One of our readers said they do it to their family all the time. I think this could work for like dates and family. I think that is actually pretty valid. That could work for both.
How's it work for family though? Like, what do you do?
Because if your family's at your house and it's time for them to go, it's time for them to go. All right. Like now, you know what I also do? I do that all the time. I'll go, all right. And usually everybody knows what that means, whether I'm ready to go or if I'm at my house, I'll be like, all right, everything was so nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty now.
Yeah. Okay.
It was fun. Right. Oh yes, like, it was a great night. Like you just keep on doing that. I'm like, at this point, my neighbor, boop, 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 boop. Yes. Oh, it's time to go. You need me ride with you? Like that's what it is. So
done and done. Like, all right. So if you're ever out with me and you hear me say, all right, that's what that means. Joseph said it's the skin for me. Whose skin? Who got the skin tonight? What? Who? Aaron, is it your skin?
I don't know.
It's not my skin. Is it your? You got this little tea situation going on. Lexa said yes for the whole code. Yes, you have to have one, and you have to have a friend that is knows what time it is. Tosh, you need to get into that. That is, it's necessary.
Friend. Listen, if you need my number, I got you.
Yes. Lexus says, and yes, this boy beat it down. And then I set a timer so I'd have to react to say, oh my God, I got to pick up my sister from the airport. I'd leave and then go around the corner.
We've done that. We've done that before.
Yeah. You know, make it up.
One time I walked him out the porch and I walked around the corner and then came back to my house.
Just make sure he pull off, and go up the street. You good.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want you to spend the night. I want you to spend the night.
Yeah. Certain people drain my energy and you don't want to come off as rude. Yeah. Sometimes.
That's true. Listen, I'm gonna start using Princess for that too. Hey, Princess, because she's in the chat. Princess, I'm gonna start calling you for this sometimes too.
She'll be like, yes, girl, I need you immediately. My grandmother would be like, well, all right then.
Yeah.
The universe will get your ass up. Yes, exactly. You gotta have one. Because you can't, when you're done, you're done. And I am one all the time to be like, all right, I am. The time is far well too spent. One of my other friends knows I don't go out often. And when we're out and I give him that all right, he'd be like, okay, go ahead, because I know this is too much for you. Got it. So yes.
I gotta say Secret too, because Secret, she's a good one for this too. Secret knows I love being in my bed. I don't like to be out a long time. And shout out to Secret because my goddaughter is on her way. But she had her baby shower the other day. I was like, I love you because I don't like being out of the house that much. But I came to the baby shower, but I had a time limit. And she was like, I know you did, friend. She was like, I knew you wasn't gonna stay that long. I was like, I came, I saw, I ate, I loved on you, I gave you your gifts, whatever. I'm out, I'm ready to go. So
yeah, your time is valuable. And when you start looking at your time like you look at your money, and if you don't want to be in a space too long, then you have every right to be like, all right, I'm ready to go. Princess says, okay.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Princess will have my back on this because she knows me. She knows my heart.
Lord. Alexis says, I don't do that spend the night shit either. I can't love the fuck out of you, but this bed is mine. Yes. Gotta have your space. Draw your line.
Unless I want you to spend the night, then that's different. But if we ain't talked about it ain't happening.
And if I want you to spend the night, you will know.
Absolutely.
If I'm like, oh, all right, well, that was fun. Yeah, what you got to do tomorrow?
I'm so sleepy.
Why don't you go do that? Like, I can't. I'm good.
Take the hint. Take the hint.
Please take the hint. Please take the hint. Let's go to the next topic on relationships tonight. Are your friends cock blocking you from meeting other guys? Are you intimidated or afraid to engage or approach men around their friends in fear of rejection?
Okay, so let me give you a little backstory from this because this is on social media. This is basically like, when you go out, are you afraid to approach people because of friend groups?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, does that intimidate people coming and talk to you because your friend groups are intimidated to that person trying to come to you because you're already around a lot of people?
That's so it's like a two-part question. Because that first question was, are your friends cock? Well, I guess that would fall into the same category. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's like they're cock blocking because you with your friend group, so you don't want to approach these people because they're around a lot of people and you may look silly or whatever to them.
Now, you go to like Bulldogs and stuff a little bit more often than I do. And I'm sure you go in like groups of friends or you see other people with groups of friends. So would you approach somebody else that's like in their friend group?
Well, I go with a group of friends too. So I don't think I've ever had a problem with that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a problem with that. I think that it is kind of intimidating because if the person don't like you, like if they like what's the word I'm looking for, turn you down, is it embarrassing?
I think you have to have tough skin in order to approach, approach friends like that. Yeah. And not care what the friend, I guess if you've zoned in on one person in the friend group and it's your intention to get to know that person, you don't give a fuck what any of the friends have to say. You now, granted, if they're going to talk about you while you standing there, that's a different story. But if you find one person attractive out of a friend group and you approach that person, then that's between y'all.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it is intimidating. It's very intimidating because you don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Right.
But I think for me, like, it depends on how drunk I am, because I probably wouldn't give a care. I probably wouldn't care if I'm like to the highest part of that. But also I kind of vet like the eye contact and the flirting and all that stuff before I even do that.
Have you ever, I guess, in piggybacking off of the question, like even in the flirting or the eye contact, have you misconstrued eye contact or flirting, not like whether it was or what it was or it wasn't? Like, for example, if I see you across the room and I'm giving you eyes and okay, cool, then you understand that we're flirting. But then have you misconstrued somebody else's eye contact or banter as flirting and it wasn't?
Yeah, I actually give you a really good example of this. So actually, the guy's like he's my best friend right now. So like over 10 years ago, when I lived here in Atlanta, we had like a friend group, and one of my friends was dating one of my best friends right now. And Jesus Christ, why are you calling me?
I see you on Facebook and I see you on YouTube. I'm gonna call him. What? Why?
Yeah. So my friend, he is very I'm trying to figure out how to say this right. He moves his dick around a lot in his pants because it's a certain type of size.
Is this your friend or the friend that he's dating?
My friend. Which,
okay.
At the time, he wasn't my friend. My friend was dating him.
Okay.
And so
I got you.
Literally the night before that, we had a conversation like, if your boyfriend is or somebody you're dating doing this, let me know like what's going on with whatever. And so because he was doing this, I'm like, he's looking at me, he's adjusting his junk all around and looking at me. I don't know if he's attracted to me. Like, what's going on here? I don't know. So I told him.
Okay.
The next day, it was like, you ain't shit and this and this and that. And I was like, you just told me if something looks suspicious, tell you. So I did. Years later, like knowing him, he does this all the time because he just has a lot of junk in his trunk. I mean, in the front. So I get it now. But at that time, I was like, it just looked like, why are you like showing me your dick?
So you thought that he was like grabbing himself and being flirtatious, when in actuality, he's really just adjusting himself.
Yeah.
But you misconstrued. That's what I'm talking about. You misconstrued the action as if he was trying to show you that he got a lot going on.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But I was just trying to be a friend at that time. So. Like, hey, I didn't need to see his dick. Like, I didn't need to know he did adjust it all the time. Like, I didn't know.
Like, I didn't need to know that. But apparently, that's just he does it just to.
I mean, I see why y'all dating because it's nice, but
Nope. That's too far, friend. That's too far.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that to him, but I just.
Oh, okay.
Hey, secret. I'll text you. Like, hey, secret.
Hey, secret. Or as I like to call her, Scarlett.
Yeah.
No, Chef says rejection builds character in Chef's opinion.
I believe that. I think that's true. That's true. For
some people.
It's scary though. It is very scary.
Yeah, it is hurtful and scary to some. You are Scarlett's man.
Because I'm the man.
Because you're her. Yes. Mm-hmm. The famous line. So what you about to do? That's how you get the people out your house.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We'll go back to that in just a minute. Let's see. Eye contact and flirting is very crucial in this matter before approaching.
Absolutely. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person where you making eye contact, I'm gonna give you 1 look, 2 looks, 3 looks. The third look, I'm zeroing in on you if I like you. So
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. I think that is very crucial. Like eye contact and flirting, all of that plays a bigger part because you're not just going to approach somebody that you haven't at least vetted before you walked over there.
Right.
Secret says she needs a drink.
You cannot have a drink.
Uh-oh, were we freezing? Was Teddy Riley was in the building? Did we miss that?
Was he?
I guess he was. He stopped by for a minute. The gays are shady, so approaching a guy with his friends can potentially go left. Absolutely, Joseph. We think the same thing. It just depends on how you approach them and what that looks like. And if you like I said, if you're zoning in on one particular person, let that be the person you focus on. Lexus said he's still gonna look at the penis. You don't, I mean, whether he
Me too.
Tosh says it'd be confusing with the gay guys if either three things you like me or you don't like me or you got a problem. It's rude to stare. Oh, he's talking about an eye contact.
Yeah,
so it could be three things: either you like me, you don't like me, or you got a problem. And
I feel like I can judge what the eye contact is, though. For me,
you sure?
Personally.
I think those three eye contacts can be misconstrued.
I mean, I see where that's going, but for me, I've never like misjudged that.
Okay.
Like if you're looking at me like,
also the eyebrow raise and like wrinkle of the forehead.
There's different there's different looks, so.
Or like if you looking in side eye and then you know,
or confused, like, there's different eyes you get.
You do that very well, Fred. I just
I got my eyes are very big, so I know how to figure this part out. Like, don't look at me confused. Like, I'm like,
but to that other, like to the person that looks at you like it, that might be flirting to them. Now you might perceive it to be something completely different, but they think they're flirting.
But when I get eye contact, it's like, I'm like, they're like, it's a very flirtatious look. So, I got you. But they'll look at me like, or those are different looks.
It's so okay. I guess I am not as well versed in the art of eye contact. I get very timid when it comes down to eye contact because I guess I don't ever want to be perceived as flirting with somebody that I'm not intending to flirt with, or that it's not reciprocal, right? So if I'm just like,
that looks scary,
and it looks scary, right? And I don't. I've never been able to do the like eye thing that just like it never works. So I never do the eye contact situation. I just can't do
I think people always like, oh, I love your eyes. Like, I feel like eye contact is like my way of flirting for me. And that's probably why I gave you all those different looks with my eyes, because that's just how I flirt. So, you got to come talk to me first before I come talk to you.
I don't have any advice for you on eye contact situation. I feel like I look like that Addams Family Values scene where Wednesday Addams becomes polite and she just like bugs her eyes and she does this whole thing. I can't. That's exactly how I feel. So if you think I'm giving you eye contact and I'm flirting with you, chances are I'm not. Lexus got stuck. He's still stuck on the dick shifting situation. He's gonna windmill anybody that's looking.
Well, he said he needs to control the dick shifting shit. Let my dude be hung and shift this junk in public around my gay friends. We finna have a hostage issue.
Told you he windmilling.
That's what I mean, and that's what I did. That's what I was asked to do, so I did it. But like me and him are really good friends. Actually, me and the guy, my old friend and our friends, but me and him is friends. So, I understand him more now because he really does. Like, he would come to the door naked. Like, He's just a more freer person than anything.
He just has that kind of energy, and you have to be okay with it. Eye contact has energy. You have to be able to pick up on it.
Yeah.
I drop the ball all the time. It's also funny. I have friends that have been out with me, whether we go to like lounges or hookah spots or the mall or what have you, and I am completely oblivious. I have no idea if somebody is checking me out, flirting with me, et cetera, and it happens to me all the time. I'm just not. That's not the mindset that I have. And I've had friends that be like, "But you didn't see him just look at you like that," and I was like, "No, I was not paying attention." I'm never on my game.
You know what's different though? That's for you is confusing. For me, is actually someone coming in talking to me. See, if you come and flirt with me in my face, I'm like a blind eye. I'm like, I'm just having a conversation with you. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you did the eye contact thing, I would get it before that than you actually talking to me.
And see, I'm the flip. I pick up on the energy when I'm having an exchange with you. Like if I'm talking to you, I can. It's almost kind of sixth sense ish, where I can feel like I know the moment that it clicks, and your tone, demeanor, essence, energy goes from just genuine conversation to I want to fuck him. Like it's very weird. I don't know how I pick up on it. I just automatically do. And I've been in several situations where I've just been in a group of friends and I've been talking to people, and all of a sudden I get this switch of energy from somebody in the circle. And I'm like, oh, if I wanted it, I could get it right here, right now. Like that is easy.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
This is not on our topic thing or anything. Do you feel like you have a gaydar?
Gaydar? I'm going to say I can pick up on notes or inflections or intentions, but I never trust the gaydar situation because you just never know. Yeah. I never try, and I never trust gaydars.
I don't feel like I have a gaydar at all. Like I don't know who's gay and who might be. I have no idea. Like when my homegirls ask me stuff, I'm like, I'm not the gay guy to ask that. I don't know.
No idea. No clue. Yeah, I don't think I do. Guys, do you guys think that there are, that gay people have gaydars? Yeah. Anybody in the community, can you pick up? And then I guess my other question to that then would be, is it for your own selfish gain? Like, do you have your gaydar for your own selfish purpose gain, or do you have it, just to be able to identify others, or kind of like here, I'm wearing my name tag, I have my gay name tag, you have your gay name, I see it, oh hey girl, okay, that's that. Let's see what they say. Taj says yes, I do, I can tell.
Okay.
The lines are blurred now. I think they are blurred because there's gender non-conforming people. There's so many people in the community that are, that just have different tendencies or different attributes. It's really hard to tell. I agree. It's blurred. The lines are blurred.
And you have those metrosexuals too.
Yeah, which is also a really different perspective. Like you can look at a man who's a very metrosexual that is very in tune with his feminine side as well as he's in tune with his masculine side, and equally you can tell that they're not fighting for a position. I think a great example of that, of a metrosexual in particularly, is if any of you guys watched the She's Gotta Have It series on Netflix. One of the guys, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, so if you know who I'm talking about, he was just a very affluent, he spoke French, he was very, he painted his nails, he was very metrosexual, but he was very heterosexual at the same time. And that I think is a great example of just somebody being metrosexual. It depends on the atmosphere, Chef says.
Give me 1 second. I gotta do something.
Okay, so Aaron is gonna go by for a second. I'm not sure what's about to happen. But we're talking about, energy, masculine, feminine energy, and the being in a space and an atmosphere for people to be able to interpret that, pick up that, relinquish that, relate to that. You know, and if it's something that your friends cock blocking you when, you know, you're in a group of friends and you see somebody attractive, will you go and approach them? Or, you know, does the group of friends intimidate you? Yeah, I wonder. Okay. Oh, you back. Oh, hey, you all right?
1 second. Yeah. My lips were dry.
You mean you put me on the spot to take a commercial break because your lips were dry?
They were. I was like, why are my lips so dry? But
I'm sitting here coming up with shit off the wall and off the top of my head. I don't know what the hell I just said because you had to go put moisturizer on your lips. Meanwhile, I keep the stuff sitting here.
I have mine with me, like sitting right here, but I don't know what happened to it. Oh, guess what? It's in my pocket.
You know what? I'm done. I'm done. We're gonna just go to the next topic. You know,
I knew I had it on me though.
Your lips get dry when you talk so much. It's the worst thing on our. I do it all the time, and we're drinking. So that
I try to always have it by me, but who knows?
No, commercial break. Got it. Let's go to the last relationship topic for the night, guys. If your man asks you to rub his feet, are you doing it? Now, before we even get into this, we already know how Aaron feels about feet.
Let me go to my Twitter too, because I posted this on Twitter.
Aaron does not like feet, so we already know. So Debonair does not.
But the thing is this though, you know, I don't really like feet like that, but I have like rubbed my partner's feet before. Like even with guys that I've dated, I've done it. Like I'm just like natural. I've done it. The feet just gotta look like something to me. What something is, I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, what does something look like?
I don't know. I think with the socks on, I'm okay with it.
So you want to rub their feet with socks on?
Yes, like let the sock massage while my hands are doing that. Because I keep trying to think of who I like naturally who I did it with, but I can't think of who it was.
No, I don't mind rubbing feet. I would say that I have no problem rubbing feet. I have no problem with feet. Period. I don't know.
Feet are just creepy to me. And so
what makes them creepy?
I can't even tell you like why I feel like that. Like
do you have like
I've never had a bad like traumatizing experience with feet or nothing like that.
I was about to ask that.
I don't know what it is, but it's just like I don't know. But sometimes I think like if I'm like into the person, it's like it doesn't really matter to me. But like don't be like some random person come over here and put your feet on me. Like I'm like get them off me. What are you doing?
Feet. I ain't
even look at the Twitter. Most of like 90% of Twitter was okay with it though. That's what I was going to try to say.
90% of Twitter is okay with feet.
Okay with it. Yeah, they're like he shouldn't have to ask. I'm like, oh no, he's going to ask me for do that shit. Like no, it's not a voluntarily thing I want to
do. Back to really quick to the previous topic. Tosh said the Dwayne and Debonair get approached in person. Y'all are so real. I don't get approached. I was going to say this before you took your commercial break. I don't get approached in person because people think that I have a resting bitch face and they think that I'm going to reject them as soon as they approach me. I've heard that a lot. Like if they see me out, people do not approach me because they think that I'm going to, you know, just be rude as fuck. And depending upon how you approach me, I just might. If you approach me inappropriately, then I'm absolutely going to be rude as fuck. But if you come to me and be like, you know, what's up? I've seen your podcast. I think you're cool. Or, you know, I appreciate you. I've seen you around. Or how you doing? Like if you come to me like a human being, then we can have a conversation. And if you express your interest in that manner, but if you come to me like weird as fuck, like, you know, and I can't even think of what would be a weird scenario or situation where somebody would approach me and I would just be like, what the, like, I can't even think of it because it would annoy me.
So basically, your face is not resting. You really just have a bitch face.
I do. Like I'm ready for the bullshit if you come to me. And I think that is also the reason why I don't like going out, because I just feel like it's going to be a bunch of bullshit. I just think it's going to be a really uncomfortable situation, and I don't have to put myself in that space, and I don't want to.
I'm actually approachable though. That's the thing. Like when I'm out,
he is.
Yeah, like I don't come in to talk to me. I'm probably going to tell you yes or no, but I'm really approachable.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I'm approachable if you come correctly. Don't come like, I'll give you a perfect example. So we talk about this all the time. Obviously I was in Patrick Ian Polk's Skinny, and the character that I played in the Skinny, I was a rapist. I was the one that raped me and Derek Briggs, raped that little boy, Jesse Smollett's friend. We raped him after a night out at the club. And people, I mean, it is a, gay cult classic right now. I mean, it is. And after that, and after people seeing it, people would approach me and be like, "Oh, the rapist, you're a rapist." First of all, bitch, my name is Dwayne.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that though? I know you don't watch Housewives of Atlanta, but Drew Sidor is on there now. And so she always talks about how people are always like, "You broke up Melly and Derwin's relationship."
Like, no,
it's funny because people do relate the people who play those roles as a real person,
right? Like, and I mean that obviously I did my job. If you think that like you see me and approach me, I did my job. You enjoyed the movie that much that you were that invested that I am forever known to you as a rapist. That's great, but don't approach me and call me a rapist. Like that is so out the box. It's off the wall, and I hate it. I hate it because then I have to check people. Yes, because when Debonair and I met, the only thing that Debonair could say is, "It's the
rapist. Oh, you're the rapist."
Right?
Like, oh, you're the rapist.
It is the worst.
I wasn't saying like that was you, but I was like, in the movie you were the rapist. That's all. I mean, that's how I remembered you. That was it. I wasn't like, "Are you gonna rape me?" Like I wasn't saying that.
I just, listen. Just so you know, that is the wrong way to approach me. You can just be like, "I love your show, I love the podcast," and then we'll start a conversation, and then the energy will shift, and there you go.
People think I'm the freak when they meet me outside from the podcast. So I'm like, and someone was asking us last week, and I was like, why did he say that? But I had to realize for the beginning of the podcast, we were giving stories from our past. Yes. I was a freak. I was a big freak. But 37-year-old me,
big old treat. Oh, I'm sorry. I went into Megan.
Busting down like Tatiana. I was saying. But 37-year-old me is a little bit different than 20-year-old me. So I understood it after I watched the old stuff today. I was like, okay, this is why they're saying this,
because all they have to go off of is the strength of what you said.
Yeah. But 37-year-old me is very different than 20-year-old me. So
very true. Very true. This person, and I wish I could really say their name correctly because I keep skipping over the name so I don't say it wrong. LaChris, I'm gonna say LaChris.
LaChris Online.
Yeah, I'm gonna say LaChris.
I think it's LaChris Online TV.
Answered the this question on Twitter, the rubbing the feet situation.
Okay. There were so many. I couldn't even go back and look at them all. Of them.
Taj asked, "Do we approach people in person?"
No.
Not really. We talk about this on the podcast. I have a really humongous issue with rejection that stems from my dad, and him not being a part of my life. So rejection to me is extremely debilitating. So I don't put myself in a position to be rejected at all. Yeah, that's just me. And so Debonair says no, he doesn't.
I don't do it because for me, like I want someone who like is interested in me. And I feel like I've already done that. You know, if you're interested in me, let me know. But I want someone who's like really interested in me, so I don't have to fight or wonder, are you really interested in me? Like I just don't do it.
Yeah. Back to the topic that we're currently discussing. Princess says that yes, she will rub his feet if they're not crusty. Now, Princess, are you getting the lotion and the oils, and are you helping his feet not to be crusty?
But why does she have to,
Or
but why does she have to do all that? If he's coming to her with crusty feet, why you asking her to rub them feet? Like, get that together before before that.
I think feet rubbing is something that you should want to do. Like, not that you're demanded or somebody has to ask you to do. Like, if you want to rub my feet, then I'll be like, okay. Like, and you initiate that. I'm not gonna be like, you know, put my feet on you and rub my feet. Like, that's just, I don't, yeah.
My ex would be like, can you rub my feet? You already know I don't do feet. Why are you even asking me this? Like, if I voluntarily did it, that's a total different situation. But like, why are you asking me to do this?
To do it, right. Right. Princess says everybody should like the video. Yes, please like, share, subscribe the video. And I think that's what she's talking about. Yes.
Yes. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
I just want to make sure. Appreciate you, Princess. Chef says, Aaron, I totally understand. I'm the same way regarding a person's hands. If they look a certain way, I don't want to even know their name. Yes, very petty in that aspect. Hands, yes. It doesn't take much for you to keep your hands, you know, a certain kind of caliber, right? It doesn't take them. Now, granted, all of us are using hand sanitizer now. We're wearing gloves. We're washing our hands for 20 seconds like we should have been doing before the pandemic, nonetheless. You know, I think it's real easy to keep your hands manicured and together. Clip your nails, clip your fingernails, get the dirt from under your, if you got dirt under your fingernails, get up under there, get it together. I'm sick of seeing men walking around with dirt under their fingernails. Like, you also realize when you take a shower that the dirt comes out of the shower, right? Like, the dirt comes out when you take a shower. So if there's dirt under your fingernails, chances are you didn't shower today. Anyway, Debonair is cool as fuck on Twitter, most definitely. Yes, he is. He really is. He has a great following. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate it. Thank you. Justin says, Dwayne, I was scared to speak the first time I saw you in the airport when we were both on going to our flights. Your facial expression was like, I'm not feeling it today. I don't know if it was too early to speak. Listen, okay, when I'm at work, I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak half the time. I mean, I do, and especially now because I have to wear a mask. So all you see is this. And if my eyes are not giving you, come talk to me, I don't. But I'm not rude. I'm not rude. I promise I'm not rude. And I'm not uppity. You can't approach. I've had people approach me. No, I'm not now. Now, this is very true. I was in LaGuardia in New York at work. I was running to get something to eat in between flights. And somebody literally, I'm not kidding, I heard somebody say, Dwayne. And I turned around thinking, oh, who's calling me? They had our podcast on their phone because they were watching an episode. And they saw me in the airport, called out my name, and was like, I'm a really big fan of the show. I really appreciate you, you know, yada, 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 yada. And so it has happened in public. And I'm not rude. I really am nice. I promise I am. But
you know, it's funny, like when people do that to me out of public, it excites the fuck out of me. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, because, and Princess can tell you this, like I talk about this all the time. I've had so many radio shows, I've done so many YouTube things, so people actually like loving the podcast. Like I'm like, from the podcast, what's like? I love it because it feels like we're really doing something that's really great. So like, Dwayne may be working, but if you see me out, like I don't really mind it because I love it, because I'm like, you know, I love the fact that people love the podcast. So,
and I don't mind it either. Please don't get the wrong impression. Please tell me that you appreciate what we're doing. That's the only way that we're going to know that we're doing a good job, or that you are even in tune or you're listening. Like Chris says, I can relate to Wayne. On that part about rejection stemming from my dad abandoning us as kids. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It took me a very long time for me to get to a space where I understood that I had an issue with rejection. I used to just really feel horrible when I would be rejected. And not because I felt like I was bigger or greater or better than anybody. It did something internally. And then I had to kind of go to counseling and try to figure out why. And that what's up there? Is there something up there? What's going on?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Like
this fan is I'm freezing from that fan. I'm sorry.
I could just see you kept going.
I'm like, how fast can I get up and do this?
Lord. See, this is what happens when Easy is not here. We just kind of fall apart. It's just.
But speaking of this, so, in the old podcast, like when we were doing the YouTube channel, I'm like, why am I looking at Dwayne's ceiling so much? I'm like, this is how I feel because this and this and this and that. And I'm like, why am I looking at the ceiling? Like, there's nothing up there.
We have come a long way.
That fan was killing me, though. I was like, how can I get up real quick and turn it off before?
But the sad part is you kept looking up at it like.
I didn't even notice that you noticed that, though.
If I could keep looking at it, maybe it'll go off.
I was debating in my mind, like, how fast can I? How much time do I have to click it before it goes off?
Oh Lord, we are a mess tonight.
But it's all the way off now, so I'm good.
You good. Princess says yes. I will pedicure his feet. See, she'll pedicure his feet. Nobody has a problem. I mean, if you don't have a problem with it.
But you know what? For someone that I'm like into, I wouldn't mind that. But like feet is not the first option for me. Like, don't come over here for sex and then rub my feet. Like, sir, the front door is this way. Or let me go. Because that's when you start texting your neighbor like, girl, get ready because he want me to massage his feet. Yes. Do you have a massage? Somebody doing feet over there? He needs a feet massage. Seriously, it's not like a normal thing to me.
Lexa says, yes, it does take work. I'm a mechanic at heart, but now I work behind a desk. I did an alternator this weekend, and Lord, my nails were over. And the nail brush doesn't be working. I get it. So he's talking about the hands, the manicuring of his hands. You gotta keep those things, soft. Somebody shouldn't shake your hand and it feel like sandpaper.
But if you have a job like that, like I used to work for U-Haul, like my nails was not always clean all the time. So, I don't come over like, oh yeah, nails is dirty. Sir, I'm working on damn U-Haul trucks all day long. Like, get out of here.
Right. Chef says Dwayne, true, but it's not done though. I don't know what that means, Chef.
I don't either.
But
something we said.
All right. Something we said. Whatever, wherever you are in the video, in the tape.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. All right. So we're going to do an interjection. We're going to go on to our next topic, but we're going to do an interjection in between our relationships and our sex topics. 2 things we want to talk about tonight. We're going to do our Offense of the Heart letter here in a moment. But the first thing we want to talk about, the first thing you want to let them know the first thing we want to talk about, Aaron?
Is it Lil Nas X?
It is Lil Nas X and his amazingness.
So I kind of kept my opinions about this offline because I didn't really know how I really felt about it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I hit Dwayne up today. I was like, maybe we should do this on the podcast because I really get it. So, how do you guys feel about this? Maybe before we even get into it, because I understand it. So, how do you feel about it, Dwayne?
I applaud him greatly. I applaud him for being fearless, and even if he's not fearless, being bold enough to express himself in a space that does not normally lend itself to be welcoming to Black queer men, right? Okay. I applaud him greatly for being able to, say F whatever anybody thinks, and And since you want to condemn me to hell, or when you always want to send me to hell, then you get mad when I go. I think that was one of his tweets this past week. Then you get mad when I go, which I think is brilliant. I also applaud his parents for giving him the space to be able to express himself. I think I'm sure everyone has seen by now his text thread with his dad, where his dad said he saw the video and he was like, it was a lot for me to take in. He was like, but I'm so proud of you for expressing your who you are and being unapologetic about it. I've also watched a couple of reaction videos that he has also been a part of with a couple of other YouTube celebrities. And I think that he's done a great job of expressing himself and then being able to articulate why he's expressed himself the way that he has. Even the pictures that we have here, his ability, he was going to heaven, he was going up and going into a space where he was praised and loved, and he took the stripper pole all the way back down to hell. And I think that is absolutely great. I just applaud him. I'm very proud of him, to say the least.
Okay. So we're really on the same page. Honestly, I feel like being a part of the Black church is so confusing for a gay Black man. Period. Yeah. And to see him do this and understand the imagery, is that the right word? Imagery.
Good job. Imagery
of what he did. I understood the whole entire thing. It's like, y'all sending us to hell. I'm gonna take a stripper pole all the way down here. I'm gonna fuck the devil. And I'm gonna take his horns. I'm gonna kill him and do it my damn self, because this is what y'all keep telling us, right?
Yeah.
I think that people don't know how to receive it because they don't understand that they've been telling us this our entire lives. Yeah. So guess what? I'm gonna show you what you've been telling me. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
People are offended by it. And then they were talking about Old Town Road. He was like, well, that was about drugs and this and this and that. So literally, to me, I love what he did. I think that it's hard for people to understand it because they thought this was like Kids Bop, with Old Town Road.
Not Kids Bop, bitch.
That's what they thought it was, Kids Bop. But he's like, Old Town Road wasn't for children either. But you let your kids listen to it. So now I'm gonna show you what you've been preaching to me my entire life. Yeah. And I'm gonna show you what you told me and what I believe. And the fact, it reminds me of writing the letter to my younger self. Because
you talked about before.
Yeah, what you told me what's gonna happen to me, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So now you're offended, but this is what you told me was gonna happen to me. I think that the people, the church, and people who don't like this need to understand that literally in our minds, this is what it looks like to us. So, like, actually having to face it, you're offended. Well, and he said this is how you made me feel my entire life. So guess what? I'm gonna show it to you. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought that he did an excellent job. First of all, the graphics, everything was like, the way they put that shit together was amazing.
And the story behind it.
Yeah, like like the visual art of it was amazing. But making Black people and the Black church have to actually face what they have been telling us, and now they're offended, I loved it. Because guess what? How we've been feeling for however many years it has been, now you get to see it, how you feel now. But now you want to, and the shoe thing was a lot for me. I didn't get the shoes with the drop of blood and all the other stuff. But people have to realize Lil Nas X was a troll before he was a celebrity. And now the troll is trolling the celebrity world, which it's like a match made in heaven for him. I loved all of that. I think that he did the best thing that he could ever done. But I think it's time that people start having conversations, because imagine being a child and feeling like that, like, oh, I'm going to hell. But now he's glorifying the fact that what you said was wrong This is what it looked like. I'm going to hell. I want to go to heaven, but now I'm taking the strip pole all the way down to hell. I'm gonna fuck the devil and take his all of it. And someone said this today. There was like Christian people have been trying to figure out how to kill the devil their entire lives. Lil Nas X did it down the stripper pole, killed the damn devil, and took over all his shit. And y'all still can't figure it out. Like, all of this makes a lot of sense to me because we have had to think outside of the box. Yeah. Even like if you see my post on Facebook, a lot of times I make fun of the fact that Eve she talked to a talking snake. Like these are, to me, they're fables, right? And everybody has to believe what I believe, and I don't, I'm not trying to persuade anybody, but a lot of it doesn't make any sense. We are believing what the white man has brought into us for slavery, and like it's our livelihood. A lot of them don't even believe that, but like for Black people, it's like our life. But now somebody's kind of challenging that, and like you're having a problem with it. Even with the Kirk Franklin thing, like people are kind of confused with that. But like going back to Lil Nas X, it's like, well, okay, since this is what you believe about us, let me show you what it looks like, and you can't handle it. And to me, I loved it. I love every single part of it. I think that Lil Nas X did an amazing job. The imagery was great. I mean, he did an amazing job, and I take all my hats off to him. He did a great job.
Yeah, I think and even watching some of the reaction videos that he was a part of, he explained imagery like the imagery like this, where he was being judged in front of a jury of his peers, the people that looked like him. They were the ones that were judging him, and they, that's the kind of stuff that he's experienced thus far in, being the celebrity that he is. Even down to the beginning of the video, we showed the imagery of him sitting in kind of his nod to the Garden of Good and Evil, and sitting in Eden, and then he's approached by, his former self, and then that kind of takes him on a journey. He used a lot of biblical references to, combat how people have been, the things that he had been taught all his life. But, the one thing that I really, really just could not get over was this lap dance with the devil. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I remember, and this is probably the first time that I think I have verbally said this out loud. I remember being a young gay. Yes, I was young once upon a time, and I remember watching George Michael's. George Michael had a video in like the 90s, early 2000s, and he was so attractive to me. This here, had I seen this then, he gave the devil an entire lap dance ass out and everything. And I was just kind of like, this is incredible. I want to know who the devil is. I want to know who this person is. I want to know who played that character to allow him to gyrate on him like that. It was like grabbing his ass, grabbing his thighs. I want to know who that is, because whoever he is, nobody will never know, but I would love to know. That would probably, if I were to ask him, I would ask him who was he? Who did you allow to do that to you?
To me, it was like, fuck the devil. To me, that's what I got.
He cleared him. He killed him.
Yeah. And I posted with somebody's post. I said, it's so crazy because the church has been trying to figure out how to get rid of the devil this entire time through scriptures, and entire time was in the strip club.
Well, there you go. Let's go to
Lil Nas X. To me, this was a genius thing for gay Black people, period. And I loved it because we don't have a space to say fuck y'all's how y'all feel about us, period. And literally he did that. He fucked the devil. He said, I'm gonna take over this whole shit. And people don't like it. But you know what? To me, I'm like, bro, I wish I could have been like a prop in the background. I loved it. I loved it. All of it.
Yes. I will definitely say I can't wait to see how his artistry evolves. If this is how he's starting, I can't wait to see how his artistry evolves and he gets to, as he gets older, he gets to be the artist that he is. I think Luche makes a great point. His clapbacks on social media have been A1. I, I have laughed until times got better at his clapbacks and he means it. He absolutely and it's like he was prepared for it, which is great.
But he was a troll before he was a celebrity. So you can't troll a troll. That's the thing. And like people can't deal with it because Lil Nas X was literally a full troll to Nicki Minaj the entire time. He got his break. And so now you can't troll a troll. And he was like one of the best trolls that there was. So trying to troll him it's not going to work.
It doesn't happen. Lexus says, I applaud him because how many of us went to church with your parents and the preacher tells you you're going to church for being gay, or you're going to hell, I'm assuming Lexus meant for being gay, and your parents don't say anything.
Absolutely.
Very true. Lexus continues to say, yet they continue to take you to the same church that is condemning you. That is mental abuse. Think of what you can do as a child.
And then think about it as an adult. You still go to church,
and you're still mentally abused.
You're still getting that, right?
Yeah.
So guess what? The same trauma, and he said this: the same trauma that you gave me, deal with it.
Here it is. Lexus says, "But baby, Lil Nas X bust hell wide open when he hit it. He did all the way down." Tosh says, "It's making a statement. They always say we're going to hell. He can do this in a live performance in different ways. He can have someone like Andrew Jeffrey, Star X, Jeffree Star's X, be the devil, which stands for the deal." Yeah, I mean that's possible. I think you've given him I think Tosh should write a treatment for his live performances. That's a whole treatment that I'm sure he could take into consideration. Chris agrees with you. Let's see. They use the Bible to enslave people. Absolutely. I guess because I didn't get the point at first. Okay. I think that's a valid point. I think a lot of people got confused, Princess. They did not get the point. They didn't understand it in totality. But what I would advise, as I did, go back and look at, there's one person in particular, and I didn't write down his name, where Lil Nas X is sitting there with this YouTube celebrity, and he's doing the commentary for the actual video to explain what you're watching.
But let me give you an even better example, though. DMX had a whole album called Hell is Hot. What was it called? Let me look at it. DMX had a whole album where he was the damn devil, and it was a very demonic whole album. It was about all kind of like abuse towards women and things like that. It was Hell is Hot. Hold on, let me look at it. Let me look. Go ahead, Dwayne. I'm gonna look at it.
Okay. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. Joseph says, you better not put those weird looking hands on my, well, no, sir. Okay. We're still talking about hands. Clearly.
Oh, yeah. It says it's dark and hell is hot. And on his album cover, he was the devil. Nobody gave him the energy they gave him Lil Nas X. Maybe because he didn't go down a stripper pole and fuck the devil, but there's no difference. Jay-Z has a whole song called Lucifer. He didn't get the same energy because Lil Nas worked on the devil like it's a whole problem. I'm not getting that.
I mean, of course, the people are going to take things as literal as they can take it. And I think that is, they're looking, he's given them the literal look at, the artistry, but of course he did not look at it. They're not looking at it from the artistic point of view that he had, which is why I loved those commentary videos that he's done. Lexus said, can we talk about his apology though? Because obviously he released an apology today in regards to the shoes. I didn't see the apology video.
What he did was he gave an apology, but then he played that video after that. It wasn't a real apology, which I love that. I love what he did because he went back to the video. Lil Nas X is a genius, honestly. He is, because he's giving what we got from the Black church our entire lives, and they can't handle it, period.
They'll be all right.
At the end of the day, what we are getting crucified for is a small portion of what the Bible even says. And if you look up those things, and one day we'll go through this on the podcast, because the word abomination is something that I hate, because people don't even know what that word really means. And so people really ride around with that, like, oh, it's an abomination to be gay, this and this and this. But do you even know what the real word means? And do you know what the Hebrew, Hebrew, right? Hebrew. Hebrew word of abomination means. And let me just drop this for you real quick. The Hebrew word of abomination is something of a certain culture. It's called tohiva. Tohiva is something of a certain culture. So at that time, they didn't want men having sex with other men because they were trying to build an army, because they were in battles with other people that were trying to take over their armies or their cities or whatever it was. But tohiva doesn't, the word abomination, because the people hear the word bomb, they get so confused that it's like the worst thing you ever heard, because the word bomb is in it, but it just means something of a certain culture. And so people get confused with that. And I hate that, because growing up, and even like now, people don't look up that stuff. My mom is a big person of the Blue Letter Bible. And so it breaks down words that are like in the Bible, and it helps you kind of, do all that stuff. So me dating my ex, I learned, what that word meant. So I talked to my mom about it. I was like, do you know what the word, the abomination means? And I said, you love the Blue Letter Bible, so let's go through it and look at it. And so when we read it together, she was kind of confused. She was like, what? Not confused, but she was kind of stunned. I'm gonna say that. And I said, so you've always taught me that once you know something, you're responsible for this. You know what I'm saying? And to me, learning what words mean is very important. Yes, abomination seems like the world's over, but if the word doesn't mean that, like, you have to receive that, and I think that coming from a church background, coming from, being a PK and then dating a pastor, you have to learn, and the Bible tells you to study yourself approved, something like that, whatever it says. You have to do that. And so at the end of the day, abomination is not what we all think it is. It's not the end of the world, but abomination just means study. I mean, it's something of a certain culture. And at that time, they were having, I think Sodom and Gomorrah was battling with someone. I don't remember the whole thing. They were battling with someone, and they wanted to build their army. So they didn't want people having gay sex, because it doesn't create children who can fight in the war. So that's that.
Actually, Soda Eminary is right. What most people don't know is I have a minor in biblical studies. So I am very well aware. You also should take into consideration when the word homosexuality was added to the Bible. Mm-hmm. It was not originally in the original text, obviously in the Greek or Hebrew, and the meaning's different. And then also it was added, the King James Version added it in at a particular time, but we won't go into it. We might have an entire show about that just for reference.
Because wasn't the guy who wrote the King James Bible, he was a homosexual too, right?
I mean, he dabbled in some booty. Yes. So let's go to Luche's comment. Am I the only one who found Lil Nas X kind of sexy after the video? Absolutely not. I looked at him a whole different way. I was kind of like, well, wait a minute now.
I don't know if I found him sexy, but I did find it very. I love the whole stripper pole down the hell thing. Like, it was like, bitch, I'm here, and I'm queer, and I'm taking over this thing. YouTube, please forgive my cuss words, because I know you're going to like make sure you 18 over. But I loved it, because it was like, I don't give a damn about what y'all think. This is what it is. Like, stop holding us to these standards that y'all don't hold yourselves to. And I think that when it comes to us, like, we have been held to so much bondage about being gay. It's just like, bust hell wide open down the stripper pole for me. I loved it. I loved all of it.
Trevor says, churches can be very toxic at times. I hardly attend anymore, and I'm glad I'm now more inclined to my African spirituality, back to my roots. Very true. Very, very true.
I think for me, it's like my spirituality. For me, like my relationship with God is my relationship with God. I don't have to be in church every Sunday to get what I need from God. And I think that a lot of people should take their own spiritual journeys with that, because church sometimes it's not like they're doing so much. I don't know how, like, even with hospitals, like, they can't deal with everybody at the same time. And church does that. But taking your own personal journey with God, it's more intimate. It helps you more. Like, I mean, I've been through so much stuff in my life, and God has helped me through so much, because, I just be like, in the morning, God, I love you. God, I just thank you for what you've done for me. Things like that. So, I mean, if I was damned to hell, I don't think I would. I mean, I went through the whole COVID without a job, but working my own business. And there was not one day I didn't go without eating, without no money, even things that I just personally want to do for myself. None of that. Because I wake up in the morning and I say, God, I just thank you. If God was like, damn me to hell, why would I have that?
Yeah, I think we should designate a show about our church experiences as we have in the past, but maybe a little bit more in depth, because it seems to be a hot button topic for quite some time, and so many people that have so many experiences when it comes to the Black church. Obviously, you both know, as Aaron has mentioned, he was married to a pastor. He's a PK. I actually am licensed and ordained. We just don't talk about it often. And, I was in that space for an extensive amount of time, but we can talk about it on another show. I think we should dedicate a show to that.
And you know what else I want to do when we do that show is, Damien was on one of our shows when we did the First Gentleman thing, but his husband wrote a book called Homosexuality. And if you guys haven't read that, check that out. And it kind of breaks down everything in the Bible that's pertaining to homosexuality. So if you guys haven't checked that book out, it's called Homosexuality. It's on Amazon, and you can purchase it at like Barnes and Nobles and everywhere. So.
All right. So our next topic, let's see. We're gonna go to our heartbeat letter for tonight. Thank you. Well, let's go to this comment really quick from Taj. Thank you, Dwayne and So Debonair. Please do a whole show about it. That will be groundbreaking. Absolutely. We will add it to the roster. Let's go to our heartbeat letter for tonight, which is tonight's topic, or tonight's title, rather, of our episode. All right. So I'm reading the letter off to the side. I'm not being shady. You got something to say? You were good? You all right? So Debonair, what's going on?
Easy just text me.
Uh-oh. We got an update from Easy. Hang on.
I'm gonna ask him if he want to come on the show.
Oh, is he at home?
Give me a sec. Go ahead. What you doing? Go ahead.
Okay, I'll read the letter, and then we may have an update from Easy tonight. Ooh. So Dear Affairs of the Heart, this is from Graham. Graham says, Dear Affairs of the Heart, I'm a 17-year-old gay guy who is kind of out, but not really. I am single, but I have been talking to a boy on and off for a year who is not out either. A few months ago, he went off to college, but before he left, he asked if he could smash. Mind you, I'm a virgin. So a few days ago, he came home from college for good, and we have been talking, and he asked again, would I be willing to smash? I haven't given him an answer yet, but I am strongly considering saying yes, but only because I am kind of feeling pressured. Not by him, but I guess in my mind. And I am the only virgin in my friend group. Even though most of my friends are straight, I am not even sure if I want to be a top or a bottom. 80% of me is leaning towards being a bottom. The other 20% of me wants to try and top. The guy I have been talking to is a total top. And if I let him top me, does that make me a permanent bottom? I need you guys to help on the right decision because I'm afraid I might make the wrong one. Please help. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Hold on. I need to read it for myself because Easy just threw me off. Seriously.
Do we need to talk about Easy before we get into this letter?
I'm gonna wait till Easy comes. If he comes on, we'll talk about it. But I don't want to.
Okay. All right. All right, Heartbeats. So 17-year-old Graham here is a virgin, and he's got a guy that he's been kind of seeing on and off, talking to on and off. And he wants to know, he's being pressured, not by the guy, but in his mind. He's really strongly considering smashing this guy. He's a virgin. He's maybe 80% leaning towards bottoming and 20% leaning towards topping. And if he has sex with the guy, does this make him a permanent bottom? So what advice do we have for Graham?
I'm really trying to think what I should say right now. That just threw me off real quick, but
Uh-oh. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You want me to go first? Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, Graham, you're 17. I get that you want to explore and you want to have the opportunity to, you think that this person is worth giving up the goods, whether you top or you bottom. I really, really want you to consider, is this person worth giving that to? Obviously, this is your first time and you can't get this time back. And I will tell you from someone from experience that this time will then set the precedence to your sexual life, your sexual behavior, what you think you enjoy and what you don't think you enjoy, etc. And so I really, really think that you should take all of that into consideration, other than, because we do some really crazy things when we're horny. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of things that we regret sometimes when we're horny. We do a lot of things that we did not take into consideration when we're horny. And so I really, really wish, and I would want you to really take all of this into consideration. You will not get this time back. And if it's horrible, then that's going to weigh on you for a long time. And it might require you to have to get therapy. So take all of that into consideration. If you then do decide to, please use protection. Please, 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 please use protection, because you don't know what this young man is out there doing. And you want to be able to protect yourself as well as him. And, just make sure he's worth it. I really wish that I had someone to tell me to make sure that the person that I allowed into that space, into that area of my life and of who I am, I wish someone told me to make sure that the person was worth it, because if they didn't, they didn't. And I have had some terrible experiences, and not terrible as in, just not just terrible experiences that I wish I did not encounter. Just don't pressure yourself, and don't feel like you have to live up to society. Just because society is out here fucking does not necessarily mean that you have to be doing the same thing. Obviously, you said everybody in your friend group, you're the only virgin. Well, then be proud of being the only virgin in your friend group. That's okay. You give it when the time is right, because it's yours to give. It doesn't belong to anybody else's, and you do not have to feel pressured because everybody else is doing it. That's all I got for now. Go ahead, Debonair.
Yeah. I'm going through some emotions right now. I hate what I just read, but your first time to me is not going to be probably the best one. I think that we try to plan that out, but a lot of us don't have the best first time, whatever. I think that you're 17. If I had my personal experience, I wouldn't do it when I was 17. I would have probably waited, which, when I willingly did do it, I was in my 20s. But I don't think that you should explore this unless you really want to do it. Like, this is something that you want to do in your mind. This is like okay with you. And it seems like you don't want to do it. So I would save myself to a person that I really want to do it with. I got two things going on right now. I want to just say, save yourself to someone you really want to do it with. I don't think that especially because you're saying like was it 80% bottom?
He feels like he's leaning towards 80% being a bottom and 20% being a top.
80% bottom. That first time is not gonna be the greatest. I don't think that it is. If Easy was here, probably say something different. But for me, mine was terrible. I didn't have a great experience. But I think that you should just go with how you feel. Please use protection. Please guard your own hearts. Please don't make it, if it doesn't work out great, like, don't be discouraged. And even though you have that 80%, that 20% may be different. Like, maybe you have to figure out what position you want to do. So I would just, those things I want to say. I just think that there's no blueprint for this. But I mean, you do have people who will support you, and we would love to like talk to you about it, whatever. There's no blueprint. So you got to do what you feel is going to be best for you. Try it when you are ready to try it. And, if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean this is not what you're supposed to do. Because maybe you're not a bottom, maybe you're a top. This is how you feel because you never had sex. So.
All right, let's go to some of the topics because the topics have been blowing up. Okay. Taj says, do it when you feel like it. If you feel pressure, don't do it. You will get to the experiment phase. You'll get there. You'll get to the experiment phase. Lex says, this letter is hilarious, but we get it, child. Throw that virginity mess out the window and live your life. Just wrap it up. Lexus also says, and take enema classes from another bottom before you do it. Anything.
Oh, wait. Yeah, before you go to another comment, that's very important because learning how to clean is very important. A lot of us don't know that. I didn't know that before I started having like bottom sex, and someone had to teach me that after I had bad sex. Leave it there. But I didn't know that there was a process to this. So yes, absolutely. Learn how to use the enema. Please don't use what's in the actual bottle. Maybe leave a little bit in there and put water in there, but don't use the whole enema bottle because that's going to tear your whole asshole up and you're going to have a mess. So, yeah.
And go back to a couple of our podcasts. We've talked about this in extensiveness, including demonstrations of products that we use. So, Chef says, writer, you should have a conversation with the guy and ask, why is he wanting to smash so badly? Consider what you're doing and move forward.
But I feel like they've been talking for a while. Maybe he just wants to be intimate with the guy.
I mean, the guy went off to college and the guy came back home permanently. So,
but he wanted to smash before he even left.
Which is why, our listener said, well, you need to ask him why he wants to smash so bad. And if you guys are around, I would love to know how old the guy is. Obviously, the Graham is his name. Graham is 17. How old is this guy that you've been talking to for quite some time?
He can't be that much older because he said he went to college. He recently went to college. So there can't be that much. The age gap not that big.
The reason I asked that because the guy already knows that he's a total top.
Okay, that makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? Like he's made it very clear the guy I have been talking to is a total top. Well,
yeah,
he has had to know that for quite some time. Luche says, the sooner he does it, the better. Pop that cherry and get your heart broken now versus later. This is so much more emotional baggage the longer you wait. That's a very good point, Luche. There's so much more emotional baggage the longer you wait on, holding on to your virginity. That's a perspective. Slick says, as a usually bottom, I'm thinking about the first time compared to some of my greatest hits. Well, okay.
That's actually what I was thinking about too. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you.
What do you mean?
The first time is not the greatest. Like, it's like the first time somebody goes into you, I don't think that there's going to be a great experience. Easy has a different experience than like 99.9% of us, which is why I wish he was here today, because I didn't have that. I don't think I've ever heard that before. So
no.
And it was like not a small dick either. So it's like listening to Easy say it versus like my experience and a lot of other people's experience is very different.
Yeah.
I think that's a very rare experience. I think that, you have to realize that getting fucked for the first time is not going to be the best. I mean, like I told you guys earlier well, not on the live, but on the podcast, I thought I was a heterosexual after I got fucked the first time, because I was like, this is not for me. It's not. Because that nigga was ramming the fuck out of me. I was like, oh my God, my insides is coming out. It was like, he wasn't taking his time. It wasn't good. I think that you also should find a top who's going to take their time with you for your first time.
If you have to do it. Taj says, thank you to YouTube in regards to teaching him how to clean properly, I'm assuming. Slick says, and eat plenty of fiber or fiber capsules.
Pure for man. And I also have another one. I don't know the name of it was, so I can't tell you right now.
Lastly, Alexa says, I lost my virginity at 17 and the guy knew he was the top. I knew I wanted to get beat down, but I didn't get that virginity thing, that type of energy. The first ain't great, but after, baby.
Yeah.
All right. So Graham, listen, I think you have garnered a lot of good advice from us and the listeners of the show. At the end of the day, the decision is yours, but please, please, please wear protection, take care of yourself, and just be responsible.
And learn how to
all
fleet.
that you're doing.
Learn how to fleet. Make sure you get yourself clean so that it's not a messy situation, because most bottoms who bottom for the first time don't know that. Because he said he was out, but not really out. So I'm pretty sure there's no one who's really teaching him that. But make sure you learn how to clean. And you can use the enema. I would not use what's in the enema bottle. I would probably use like maybe the bottom of it, but pour some water in there and use that. That's probably the most important part. Know that it's probably gonna be kind of a painful in the beginning. It may be painful the whole time because it's the first time, but it doesn't always be like that.
All right. I think that is perfect advice. Lube is definitely important. Please don't try to spit on it and think it's going in there.
Not the first time.
That's not going to happen either.
Not the first time.
Please read up on how to do it properly. And if you need to research some of our videos, please do. And we can, I guess, let us know how it goes.
And make sure he eat it first.
All right. So this is, I think, a great segue into our sex topics since we're here. We might as well just go into, and I think these are old. Are these old sex topics that you've resurrected?
Yes.
So debonair.
Yes.
Okay.
Something we never really talked about on YouTube, but we did on the actual podcast.
Okay. So let's go to the first one. It is big dick bottoms and big booty tops. What do you want to discuss?
We never actually did big booty tops, though. Never did that.
We never did, you said?
We never did big booty tops. We did big dick bottoms.
Okay, hang on. I'm having some technical difficulties with my headphones. Give me 2 seconds because you keep going in and out, and I am missing the conversation. Hang on 2 seconds. Are you singing? I can see your mouth moving, but I just can't hear what you're doing. Hang on. This is what happens when you have Apple products and you think you're the best. I'm so sorry, y'all. Give me 2 seconds.
It look like you moving fine on the YouTube when I'm looking at.
No, I'm moving fine. I can talk. I know you can hear me. I can't hear you. I don't know what was going on with the brand new AirPod Maxes. They were just not giving me the business here. So give me 2 seconds.
Okay. Brief intermission, guys.
Yes. At least I'm not going to like just go away to go get chapstick because my lips are dry.
What? Siri talking to me and stuff? I don't know what's going on here.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Big dick bottoms and big booty tops. What do we want to talk about?
The original conversation that we had with big dick bottoms was me on that front porch on that abandoned house. But we never talked about big booty tops and like tops not when they ass touched, and big dick bottoms not when they dick touched. That's I think I was going with this conversation. Okay. And how do you feel about that? And I guess I can start. Like, I think like with a big booty top, like I don't want a big booty top that don't want his ass touched. Like, I'm an ass eating connoisseur. Like, I want to eat a big booty. Like, I like that. So I don't want you to not want your ass touched when you got a big booty and it looks nice, and I want to like eat it. So, you know, big dick bottoms. I've already kind of explained that before in an earlier podcast with me having sex with one. So
now, there may be some new people that don't know that story, so you might have to tell it again.
I think I said the story outside of that conversation, but if y'all haven't heard it though, one of my Lyft passengers, I picked him up from Bulldogs when I was a Lyft driver, and we fucked on the front porch of an abandoned house, and he had a big ass dick. His dick was like down past his knee, but he was a bottom. And I didn't know that, and I fucked him on the front porch of an abandoned house. That's the story.
And it was it.
If you guys want to hear the full story, go down to our podcast. It says Big Dick Bottoms, I think.
Okay.
But we never talked about big booty tops though at all. We never talked about that.
I am, I guess, for all intents and purposes, to some degree, considered a big booty top. Jesus.
Dwayne is a big booty top.
Yes, I guess I am. I just act like it doesn't exist. I don't mind it being touched. I don't have that kind of hang up, but you're not going to just like randomly stick your finger or your fist up there. Like, that's just not happening.
You like your ass ate?
First of all, yes, in some cases. Okay. So we talk about this all the time. I don't have irritable bowel syndrome, but I have some type of stomach situation going on. So I'm always paranoid about my stomach. Like, I'm just very paranoid. So even in the times that I have bottomed, I'm very cautious, like, which is why I use the mechanism that I use, like, to make sure that I really clean out, because I just can't handle mistakes, and you will never say that it was me that did it. So with that being said, I am very cautious of like making sure it's clean, making sure it's fresh, making sure, getting up in there, and I don't want any mistakes. I think I have the biggest fear of that.
Well, let's kind of get rid of the versatile part and just say, like, you're a top, but the bottom likes eating ass. Because that shouldn't be a problem for that, right?
I mean, it still needs to be clean. Like, what do you mean?
Well, no, it needs to be clean, but like I'm not getting up. They're not getting up in your ass like that. Like the tongue is not as long as a dick.
No, but it's still, you got to make sure.
Mean, you can clean your ass to a certain point where they can eat your ass, where you don't have to like fleeting like for 20 hours like that.
So you're saying you don't have to fleet for 20 hours in order to get your ass ate, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like fleeting for people is different for someone trying to get dick versus getting your ass ate.
But you still should be like, for example.
I mean, okay. Absolutely. You're right. What you're about to say is right. It's all the way right. It's all the way right. It's all the way right. I'm not disregarding that. But I was saying,
because that's for you. I know my body ass type of people that be like, oh, I know I'm good. I don't need to do it. You can still eat it, and then
I just don't think that I have to do as much work to get my ass ate as I do have to get some dick. When I'm
yes
fleeting.
and no. Yes and no. I can agree with that, and
maybe because I clean so much, like that's why I feel like that. But
yeah, I can see that. But it doesn't do anything for. I'm gonna be honest. It does not do anything for me.
I was about to ask you that.
Sexually, that turns me on for somebody to eat my ass. It doesn't. It just doesn't do anything. Like, granted, if I'm feeling you in that manner, like, and I want to be submissive, I guess, or kind of just vulnerable in that aspect, then of course I'll allow you to do it. But I don't get the same sensation and a reaction I think that you might, where it's like, eat my ass and then I'm ready to fuck. Like that does not, because again, I think it's self-conscious to me, or it's like I'm in my head because I'm like, well, wait, am I gonna have an issue? Like, do I have gas? Like, is it gonna sneak up on me? Because that happens quite often, and I like, even when I'm not doing anything, I just have a really terrible stomach situation. Thank my mom, but I'm always self-conscious about that. So I think it doesn't do anything for me because I'm in my head.
So can I tell you a really funny story? Which you've already heard this because we talked about this on the podcast before, but I was listening to old podcasts.
Here we go.
And I was telling you a story. I was telling you a story about this boy that was blowing in my asshole.
Oh yes, and you blew it back out.
Yeah, he was like blowing it so much, like I had to fart it back out. He was like, "What the fuck?"
It's like, there's no need to blow in there. Why? I mean, obviously, what goes in, it has to come out of it.
If you guys are watching, like, you have to listen to our old podcast because we were very raunchy in the very beginning of this podcast. It was a mess, but I was telling the story about this dude, like he really like blows air into my ass so I could fart back into his mouth.
Nope. No, thank you.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I'm glad you said it because it made me think about that again. I was like, I wanted to say it today, but I can't remember it. But yeah, okay. That makes sense.
No, thank you. I'm good. I think so. Okay, let's go to some of the comments because people are, again, I love that you guys get so invested in our conversation. Let's see. Oh my God, I love tops with nice butts.
Good God.
Good God. Yeah, I also don't like being objectified.
Oh my God, Dwayne.
I don't. I think, why? Okay, why? I think that also goes back to like a really bad sexual experience I had where somebody objectified my ass and then they went to Pound Town and I had a whole situation that we've talked about on the podcast.
That would be my only part of sex that I would love from missionary, if a dude had a nice ass so I can grab it while he's doing me. Because I would love to grab that ass. Like, why are you doing that?
As Slick also says, Slick and Salacious.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Just so you have to grab onto.
A top that has a nice ass is amazing, especially if you let me eat it. I'm great.
I mean, okay. I think we've said what we had to say. That's that.
Listen, if y'all are new to this, because even when we listen the old stuff, Dwayne really he doesn't want to talk about a lot of stuff because Dwayne gets very shy about things. Because I'm like, why is Dwayne answering none of these questions? Dwayne doesn't listen to me, and I'm like, I don't think Dwayne's to answer anything.
No, because nobody will ever run back the tape and be like, "You said."
Yes.
I'm like, no, I didn't. No,
I got. They told me that I was like the sex expert last week, so I was like, I didn't say that.
So Tosh says I'm funny. I'm very funny. I think I like to think I'm funny. Lexus says exactly so. That's the only reason, and I'd lay my head on it like a pillow.
Like a pillow, absolutely, absolutely.
Slig says, Dwayne, you don't like people getting caught up in your sexiness, even if only for a moment. I don't. It's so weird. Like,
so what about getting like? What don't you like about getting your ass eaten?
What don't I like, or what do I like?
What don't you like?
I have to want you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like I have to be attracted to you to want you to eat it or fuck me or whatever. Like I have to want you, and if I don't, I don't. Like I'm just not interested.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not interested.
And if you're new here, Dwayne is a convertible top.
Yes. I drop my top every now and then, but I like to keep the top on for the most part. Alexis says, "So debonair, you so nasty in my Tracy Braxton voice."
Well, my nasty ass.
Your nasty ass. Yes.
In my Tasha Mack voice.
Let's go to the next topic. Being naked in front of your friends. Are you comfortable with being naked in front of your friends?
I am. I'm very comfortable being naked in front of my friends.
There are certain friends. Yes, there are certain friends that I have no problem being naked in front of because we don't want each other. We're not objectifying each other in that manner. Yeah. We've seen each other naked. We have been in the same room, fucking two different people naked. Like it just, if you're comfortable, you're comfortable. I'm not now. The issue comes in, I think, in those friend groups where there is some kind of like weird sexual energy between you and another friend. And you don't necessarily mind being naked in front of them because you have an ulterior motive. Yeah. Yes, no.
By the way, if you guys want to see some funny shit, go look at our older videos between me and Dwayne when we talked about this. But no, seriously, you're right. Like me, we went to Hollover Beach in Miami, so we've been naked around each other. I play football naked at the beach, everything. So, I mean, it's like regular for us. Like we don't mind being naked in front of each other, but I don't mind it. Like whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna like I want that dick. No, I'm not like that.
So you think? I mean, like, have you ever like had ulterior motives or objectified one of your friends where you're just kind of like, I mean, if we were ever, and then
so the thing is, like, some of our friends we had sex prior to us being friends. So that part is like we've already done that. Like we're really friends now. So like, bitch, I already seen you naked. Like we already had sex and everything. Like we're friends at this point. Like it's like a dick to me. Like it doesn't do nothing for me.
And would you agree that that's how most gay sex, like I mean not sex, but gay friend circles kind of come to be to a degree? I'm not saying that all of them are like that, but maybe you've become friends. You might have had an attraction initially, realized that y'all were good Judies, and then y'all have been friends ever since.
I would say most, but some, yeah.
Okay. I would agree. I mean, like there are friend groups that I've had that I've never been intimate with, nor do I ever want to see them in that manner. But I've come across a couple of friends and we became friends solely because, we've had an intimate moment that passed, and we're just good friends.
Like some of my friends, I seen them naked. I'm like, oh, he's naked. Okay, I seen a dick before. I seen the ass. It's good. Whatever it is.
Taj says, I love my hands behind my back. Fuck the living shit out of me. I love watching the tops booties in porn, though.
That's from the last post.
My goodness, Taj. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Lex says, let's see. Lex says, no, because if the dicks look good, what am I supposed to do? Not get it? Well, all right. So, note to self: let's not be naked in front of Lexus because he's going to shoot.
Is the same conversation from this one or the last one?
No, this is this one.
Okay.
At least I'm assuming. I could be wrong. Tasha says, yes, it depends on the friend. It's very liberating to be naked in public.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As Aaron knows, it's very liberating. Slick says, I had a few gay friends that we've never messed around, but when we first met, this was the initial pretense. Yeah. I mean, it happens. I think it happens in our community quite often, So
I don't mind getting naked. Like I 95% of the time I'm naked in my house. So I don't mind being naked. I don't my friends, most of them have already seen me naked. My best friend, we have fucked in the same room together. So I mean, yeah. I don't really mind being naked around my friends. Because I know it's not going to go anywhere besides the fact you just see me naked. My best friend was like, oh, your ass look fat. Like, we like white women. He'll slap my ass, everything. There's no sexual anything in the windows, like nothing like that. So,
yeah, same with my best friend. Like, we have been in some, we have stories to tell in the years, the 18 plus years we've been friends. And we've been on, trips to like Miami and whatnot, doing different prides. And we've had dates in the same room. It wasn't a big orgy situation. We had you over there, I'm over here, and we're doing our thing. And that's what, we've had those situations before. But I think you just, it's just a comfortability level. As long as they don't have an ulterior motive, and if they do, then you handle that accordingly. Is that on that, friend?
I think that's that on that.
All right. Another Thursday in the books. Easy said, easy done. We miss you. I can't wait to hear what has transpired. You want to close us out? Let everybody know where and what and how and who.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the fact that we hit 600 subscribers this week, which is amazing. Everybody who watches this show, we love you guys. We thank you guys so much. For people who are on YouTube, that is big because people don't hit 600 subscribers, let alone the 1,000 you're supposed to get. So I really want to thank everybody who watches this podcast and who have subscribed, because that's a really big deal for us. It means we're doing something that's good. So please share with your friends more so we can get to the 1,000 we need to get to. But definitely, it's not even a big thing for just us. It's for everybody who watches this show, period. So just going into the regular stuff, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, turn notifications, comment in the comment section, stay in the chat if you're on the chat. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at The Affairs of the Heart, Twitter at AOTH Podcast, and Facebook Affairs of the Heart. And also check out AOTHpodcast.com. You can kind of look us all up and see what we're doing. And if you want to listen to us on the podcast streaming stuff, we have that. Oh, also, because we have been recording the podcast, what I have to do is, because I haven't been posting the audio, is I'm gonna do 2 a week for the next few weeks so we can kind of get caught up. So if you want to listen to us, I'm gonna start posting that next week. So if you're listen to podcasts, we'll have that there. But that's pretty much it. Also, make sure you follow me and Dwayne, our personal social media stuff. Our names are down here in the bottom right here, but you may check us out there too.
All right. And make sure if you have a topic you want us to discuss, go to AOTHpodcast.com, Submit a topic for us to discuss, whether it's relationships or sex based, and make sure you submit your Dear Affairs of the Heart letters. We really love hearing from you guys and love shedding some topics and some lights on your situations and your perspectives. I think that's that on that. We'll see you next Thursday. We'll have Easy back so we can hear all the good news about what happened on his date. We miss you, Easy. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Don't forget about the Minority Reports coming on the 29th.
Yes, the 29th. The guys from the Minority Report will be our guest on the 29th. You don't want to miss that episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to their content as well on YouTube. YouTube, we love you guys. Thank you so much for getting us to 600, and we can't wait to get to 1,000.
And we're at 610 right now, by the way.
Ow. All right. We love you guys so much. We will see you. Take care of yourselves. Be blessed. We'll see you next week.